Today we're going to talk about visual supports and video models for augmentative and alternative communication. Our focus today is on using these things to support alternative communicators who have Angelman syndrome, but this would apply to many individuals who use augmentative and alternative communication. Any child who likes to watch videos would be a good candidate for video models, and visual supports work for many individuals with different kinds of communication needs and different kinds of disabilities. So in other webinars that are online, I've talked a lot about aided language. And aided language is another word for augmentative and alternative communication when we're specifically talking about pointing to words or symbols. So one of the things that we can do to support augmentative and alternative communicators at home or in the classroom is to hang large aided language displays around the room that have the main board of their communication system or communication book or app, and then to have specific aided language displays posted in various areas or available in various areas. For example, you might have core words plus bath time words laminated and hanging in your shower or in your tub area so that you can communicate during bath time. So aided language displays are these large communication displays that we use for aided language input, which is when we talk to a child with the system they're going to use. And we also call that modeling. So hanging up an aided language display in your home or in your classroom shows that communication is a priority from the minute you enter the room. It serves as a reminder that in this place we speak aided language, we speak AAC. It allows you to do some fast aided language simulation or modeling on the fly. If all you have to do is point to a symbol on the wall, or using a flashlight, or using a pointer, it makes it much easier. You don't have to worry about getting to the display if it's already there. In the classroom, it's great for peers to do the modeling, and for playing games. Taking turns, having a relay race where each kid goes to the board and points to a word to make a sentence, or find the word in the room kind of activities. So how do you get one of these? Well, you can make poster-size printouts of pretty much anything at places like Staples or Office Max or Office Depot or FedEx Express. They have stores, or you can order them online. And Cafe Press is one place that I like to use because they have giant static cling printouts. So you upload your core language board and whatever other aided language displays you'd like to Cafe Press, and then they will make you these very large static clings that won't hurt the wall. They are hard to move around, so don't think you're going to move it from room to room. But I love those static clings for aided language displays. You can also use a projector in your classroom if you have one and project a child's actual communication system. You can see in these photos I have here, this one is a projector showing I'm trying to see what app that is. Oh, it's Unity, showing the PRC Unity language system, so it can be modeled in the classroom for everybody, which is great because when you do it that way through a projector or an Apple TV or a Fire Stick or something like that, then you can see the pages change while you're doing the modeling. In lots of classrooms that have more than one AAC user, they keep the aided language system up on the projector all day long and model constantly with it. And peers love the opportunity to go up to the computer and be the one who moves the mouse and does the modeling. Or if it's on a smart board, everybody loves to go up and use the smart board for modeling. So I'm going to show you a video now. It's called Language Stealers. It's pretty old at this point. It's been around for over 10 years. But it talks a little bit about the way that we need to be thinking about language in substantially separate classrooms.
The language stealers.
What's wrong, Zed?
Nothing's changed. Still no AAC.
No reading.
No writing. No talking.
Not for these kids.
Blah blah blah, blah blah blah.
Only teacher talking here.
Only labels on things here.
Only topic words here. Hi, Michael.
Gladiator, oven, glove, microwave.
Huh?
These words are useless.
What can we do?
I don't know. I've tried everything I know. Core words.
No,
AAC. Role model.
no,
Communication Matters DVD.
no,
How to find words on my talker.
no,
Literacy.
no. No core words for you. No role models. No communication DVD. We will not learn to use your talker with you. And we don't teach literacy to over 16s.
You must overcome the language stealers.
Take the nouns down and put up core words.
Learn to match speech sounds to print.
Teach all of your friends.
Don't leave anybody asleep in their wheelchairs.
Language is
Asking, telling,
Directing.
arguing, tattling.
comment choosing, not just naming things. Now we're talking. We can say anything we want with the core words and word parts.
Teach us the codes to match speech sounds to print. Teach us to decode, segment, blend.
Don't be a language stealer.
Put it in. Get it out. Turn it down, up, on, off.
They come here. They make good things. We want to
read.
read. We want to write.
We
We
want
want
to
to
speak.
speak.
We have
We
the
have the
right.
right. We want to read. We want to write.
We
We want to speak.
We have
We
the
have the
right.
right. We want to read. We want to write.
We want
To the next thing I'm going to talk about for visual supports. The reason I show it is because what they're doing when they give the individual in the video all those core words, and then they teach him by saying things like, talking about the gladiators, they come here, they build good things. That's called the descriptive teaching method. It's teaching in such a way that you teach the vocabulary that kids already have without making special gladiator pages on their communication device or communication system. And it allows the child to have reinforcement of those core words, but also to express what they know about the world in a way that doesn't require all of this programming to happen that of words they'll use once, like gladiator and oven mitt. So part of descriptive teaching is that you can do these descriptive labels around your classroom. So in the video, you heard them say, take the nouns down and put up core words. So in any language-rich environment where you go into a classroom, you'll see lots of things labeled, particularly in classrooms for young children. You'll see the door says door, the chair says chair, everything has a word on it. So what we're encouraging you to do is leave that. You still want a print-rich environment, but add to that these descriptive labels that are part of the descriptive teaching method. So these came from a woman named Gail Van Tatenhove, and she has excellent work out there if you want to look her up. She talks a lot about the descriptive teaching method, and she has some nice videos of herself teaching in that manner online too. So the idea is you're going to label the room with words and picture symbols, but also related core words. So for example, you can see on the bottom graphic here where it says turn on, turn off, turn up, turn down. These are some descriptive labels that you could put next to a stereo system or anything where you have the ability to turn it off and on and up and down. Or this one here that's you would put by the mirror in the bathroom that has look in, messy, neat, happy, sad. So those are some core words that you might want to use while you're in the mirror. And looking in the mirror or getting ready for your day or getting ready for bed. And then you can model on the language system if you have it with you. But you also have these core words so you can teach directly in the context where you use the words. So it's a reminder for you to do some modeling and to talk about language, but it also helps kids learn what these words are. You use the descriptive language to add information to what you're doing, to have a visual support so kids understand their environments better. You can also encourage peers and visitors and others to use these descriptive labels. You can color code them to match your AAC user's communication system. And you can think about things like if students and teachers can reach to model with the labels. So you don't want to hang things so high that a child in a wheelchair or a child who is still a little kid can't reach. So really put some thought into where you put things. You can find some descriptive labels online to download, or you can make your own. Lots of options out there for this. Really think about the language you use when you make your descriptive labels, if you're going to make your own. So really, one morning when you're getting ready for the day and you're in front of the mirror with your child, really listen to the language that you use so that you can put those core words that you're using into your descriptive labels. Another things you can do are you can use descriptive labels for games. In elementary classrooms, they play a game called Read the Room, where kids go and find words in their environment. So you can play that with your students. You can use it if they go and touch a word. So if you say, okay, the word is in, everybody go find the word in, or one particular child go find the word in. They can go and touch it or use a flashlight to touch it. You can play games where the child shines a flashlight on different words on the aided language board or on descriptive labels, and you find the word on their talker. Lots of different things you can do with this. Also, here you see some other examples for aided language support. So this is a clock with some Pixins or Unity symbols around it for anybody who uses LAMP or Unity on a PRC device. So it says time and what time, so some descriptive labels near the clock. And here are some descriptive labels that are printed with a picture of a clock near it. So it says dates and times, and this is in pod. I'm asking a question when. I'm asking a question what time. Time now. Soon, later. So all core words you might use when you're looking at the clock. And you can either hang these up by the clock, or you can hang them by the clock and low enough that kids can reach them. But descriptive labels, once they're in your environment, you need to work to make sure they don't become wallpaper and that they are something you actively use. Another thing to think about is color coding. Now, color coding is one of those things that sort of exists in communication systems, but most people don't know why or what scheme it is, or that there are different ones out there. So there was some research done on color coding. Turns out it doesn't particularly help the individuals who are early language learners. Finding something by color isn't all that helpful. It does help us when we model, which is one of the reasons why it's important. And it helps later when you want to be teaching parts of speech. So let me explain to you the three most commonly used color codes in the United States. So one is the Fitzgerald key. So the ABAZ app uses that, the Touch Chat app, but not Touch Chat with word power, Touch Chat with multi-chat or something that it comes with. And here's the Fitzgerald key over here. So we have people and pronouns are yellow, nouns are orange, verbs or action words are green, descriptors, adjectives, and adverbs are blue, social words, hi, bye, how are you, those sorts of phrases are pink, and everything else is white. And then you have the modified Fitzgerald key. So what happens a lot is that companies decide that they're going to use the Fitzgerald key, but they're going to go ahead and change it to suit their own needs. So then you end up with 15 versions of the Fitzgerald key. So a lot of different apps and systems use their own specialized version of the Fitzgerald key. So you have to look at your app and find out what it is. And the other option is Goose and Elder and Crane. Proloco to Go comes set up in Goose and Crane and Elder. We always say Goose and Elder and Crane, but I guess it's all the written things say Goose and Crane and Elder. So they many years ago, back in the 80s and 90s, they worked on something called engineering the communication environment, and they used color coding for that. So for them, the verbs are pink, adjectives are blue, like in Fitzgerald key, prepositions are green, nouns are yellow, so again, the same as people here, but miscellaneous are orange. And these smaller ones that you can't really see, they're just some of the modified systems for other specific apps. In general, you can tell if it's Fitzgerald or a modified Fitzgerald if the verbs are green. And it's a Goose and Elder and Crane if the verbs are pink. So the main idea here is once your child starts to make some progress in communication, and we're moving past one word to multiple word utterances, you may be able to use the multiple words, use the color coding to support their multiple word utterance. So if they give you something like want, eat, you can say, oh, who wants to eat? Can you say that sentence again with a yellow word at the beginning? She wants to eat, he wants to eat, I want to eat. Put a yellow word at the beginning of that. And then your child is able to look at their system and say, okay, yellow word, I need a person word here. So lots of great ways that you can use the color coding systems to support learning and also to help yourself find things. So you can use it to give those visual or verbal cues. Sometimes I have color-coded flashcards that have, a yellow card that has the picture symbol for people that I'll hold up if a child needs to have a person word, or a green card with the picture symbol for action words that I'll hold up if the child forgot a verb in their sentence. You can color code as you talk through your aided language simulation. So you might say, I like his hat. Okay, hat. Hat is a thing. It's going to be orange. Let me look in the orange section here. Things. Okay, it's a clothing. Here we go. So, here it is under clothing. I like his hat. And hat is an orange noun. So that you're able to sort of support their thinking about how to find things. We all need to build that schematic for language inside our heads. And when you're using a communication system, that schematic includes thinking about how it visually looks, how our motor plan is for it, and what it sounds like. We all kids learn who use systems, learn about how long the pause is between when they hit a button and when it goes to the next page. So sometimes you'll see a child tap a button and their hand hover over where the button's going to appear. So that's the motor plan and the timing of it. But we also can add these visual supports too. You can play adapted versions of things like Silly Sentence and Mad Libs using colors. So, when you're doing Mad Libs and you say, okay, we need a verb, you can tell the child who uses AAC, you need a green word, get me one of those green words. And you can also do sorting activities. When I was teaching in the classroom, more than doing in-home consultation and school consultations like I do now, I used to save all the leftover picture symbols from activities, and then I would have kids do sorting activities with them. They would be color-coded, and I would have color-coded containers, and all the verbs would go in the green container, and all the describing words would go in the blue container. And so that really helps kids start to understand parts of speech. This can also be really helpful when you're teaching language to typical kids. There's a whole system called colorful semantics. It's a completely different color code, but teaches semantics of language, so parts of speech and how language connects to itself. through color coding. And you can use the ideas from colorful semantics to teach language with the color code from an AAC system as well. So remember that color coding is visual support, and it's helpful to know it. It's also helpful when you program new buttons to remember that you want to put them into the correct color code. It also helps you not put buttons in the wrong place. So lots of times people who don't know a system very well may decide that from the places page they want to put all the ice cream flavors. Well, in some systems that makes sense. In a more pragmatic language system, that might make sense. But in a lot of systems, the places page is only places. So all of those buttons should be the same color. They should all be orange, and they shouldn't link to a page of ice cream flavors, because that doesn't make sense to go places, ice cream parlor, and then have it bump to flavors, because hopefully what happens is someday your child's going to make sentences that aren't about right this second. They're not going to be, let's go ice cream parlor chocolate. They're going to say, I went to the ice cream parlor and I saw my friend Todd. And bouncing out to that flavors page isn't going to make any sense in that context. So using color coding can support you when you're adding new buttons to think about where should things go, and how do they fit in the system, and always thinking ahead. You know, it might make sense right now for to touch the stop button and then have another button pop up that says I need a break, but will that make sense in 2 years when your child's going to be using the word stop in a sentence that has nothing to do with a break? So, you know, really thinking ahead. Another thing you can do is use things like smart sticks and other visual supports that are for specific. That would be a blue word, a describing word, specific. So smart sticks are anything as simple as taking a tongue depressor or a paint stir and putting the color-coded symbol on it. So this can, again, be a visual cue for what kind of word a child needs next in their sentence. You can put specific core vocabularies on the stick to practice finding the words or to play games. You can have the whole sequence of making a sentence out made for you. So you can see in this child's bracelet, they're working on adjectives. So these are the button combinations to get various adjectives on that system, a PRC Unity system. You can also create portable glossaries of targeted words. A lot of classrooms do core word of the week or power word of the week, or a set of core words for each week or each month that they're working on. And one of the things that you can do is each word you target, you can go ahead and have the kids make a page that has that picture symbol. It has a definition. It has some examples of that word in a sentence, and then, you know, save and laminate it. And by the end of the year, all the words that you've worked on, you have a glossary of all the symbols for that word that you can look through. So lots of great creative visual supports, probably dozens of things I haven't even thought of, that can be done for individuals who are working on learning language in order to support their language acquisition over time. Another thing you can use in your classroom are cheat sheets or road maps. So for example, this complicated looking diagram explains how to make a certain sentence. And so this is in POD, and it really wasn't for the AAC user, it was for the teacher and the aide, and they used it as a rubric. So this child had a IEP goal to be able to make certain kinds of sentences. And this kind of flow chart shows how you would do that in sort of two different ways. So it's in POD, so it's arranged pragmatically. So you could say, I'm telling you something, or I'm telling you a story, depending on if it's real or pretend. And then you could go to, if you started with, I'm telling you something, you could say it's happening now. If you were telling a story, you again could pick it already happened or it's going to happen. And then you do a person word, and then it guides you through the rest of the sentence. But what we were able to do is at each of these levels, we got a check mark or a negative to take data. So they got this, and then they didn't go to people words. So we helped them get to people words, so that was a negative, and then they were able to do this step and this step. So, you know, a good way to collect data and a good way to support the teacher aide when she wanted to model the sentence. She could follow this. I hit this or this, I hit this or this. And eventually she didn't need that after a few days, but it did really help in understanding the process of making that sentence. This is a picture that is available for people words. So this is in the PRC system, and it shows all the different family relations and what those word symbols look like. So if you're working on family words in the classroom, this is a great way to teach that. Now this is aimed at the communication partners, where this is named at the AAC users. So two different visual supports, two different ways to approach things. So this can be used to support teaching language or teaching vocabulary, lots of different what we would call anchor charts in a typical classroom, lots of different anchor charts that we can make and use for our teaching. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is video models. Video models are a great way to teach language. So why are we going to do video models? Well, a video model can assure us that a specific need is being addressed. What is the language that we are looking at modeling? You know, we're working on commenting. We can make some very specific video models that show how to comment. The video model can be watched specifically. You're going to do an activity, the child's going to need to comment. Let's watch that video model to remind us how to do that. Some kids, and Angelman kids in particular, are often more attentive to the videos than to watching somebody model. I can model in front of a child a dozen times and have them not look at what I'm doing. But if I take and I make a video that's interesting and exciting to them that shows modeling, they will watch it 10,000 times on their iPad or on YouTube. You know, there are times when I've used video modeling and the child has watched it so many times, everybody in the house knows that video by heart. I had one where a Santa Claus puppet was modeling because that's what that child was interested in. And it started off with ho, 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 Merry May, which was, you know, just me being silly in the video. But everybody in the house knew that when they heard ho, 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 the next words were Merry May. And it got to the point where when Christmas rolled around, we would hear somebody saying ho, 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 you know, Santa Claus in a movie or something, and our brains would think Merry May, kind of like the way you think the next word in a song. Lots of kids will watch these videos over and over and over again, so they're going to, instead of getting that one time model while you're sitting there, they're going to watch it 100 times and get that over and over and over. You can create video glossaries. There are lots of apps that let you save videos. You can use something called WordTube, WORDTOOB, on an iPad. You can use the Go Talk Now app, allows you to save video and isn't terribly expensive. You can use Niki Play, or I believe it's called Niki Play, NIKI, which allows you to save various videos so that you can go back and find things there. Now, if you happen to be in a school or trying to convince a school to do this, this is an evidence-based practice. So there's lots and lots of good information on that video models work. They are something that all the research tells us this works when we're teaching kids, whether it be language or something else. And remember, you can use, I'm talking about using video models for language and for augmented communication, but you can use video models to teach anything. Hand washing, getting dressed, making your own snack, putting on your socks, whatever you want to do, you can have video models to do that. So what do we need to make a video model? Well, you need, or for AAC at least, you need their communication system or a duplicate of their communication system. You need a video camera. So luckily these days We all carry a video camera with us pretty much at all times, and in the form of our phone. So it's not back like when I did my student teaching, and in order to make a video model, I had to check a camera out of the library. So the world has thankfully changed, and it's much easier now. And we need a plan. Now, once you do a few video models, you might stop needing a plan. It might be something you can do on the spur of the moment very quickly. But at first, you'll probably want a plan. All right, so in the plan, you want to pick the target word, phrase, or task. So what are you working on? Are you working on turning up the volume? If your child's using an eye gaze tracking device, which some kids with Angelman use and a lot of kids with Rett syndrome and cerebral palsy use, are you working on teaching how to pause the eye gaze? Are you working on turn taking? Are you working on what do you say when someone says hi? So you decide what the skill is you're working on. Try to make it just one thing. Decide where you're going to make it and how you're going to manage to film it. And then keep in mind how the video is going to be played back. If your child uses an iPad and your phone is an Android, are you going to be able to get the videos from your phone to the iPad? So, don't go ahead and make videos until you sort of know how you're going to work that. And then decide how much planning you need to feel comfortable. Are you somebody who really would prefer a script where you're going to follow the script to make the video? Do you prefer a checklist that, first I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, end the video? Or are you someone who is fine with just winging it? I'm much more a winging it person, but I know plenty of people who feel better with a script or a checklist or something a little more structured than that. Record and re-record if needed. You can edit if you want or not. I used to spend lots of time editing and adding an overlay of the symbol into the video. It made no difference to how many times the kids watched it. So you've got your video made, you've edited it or not edited it, as the case may be. Now you're going to go ahead and introduce that to the child. You want to show it to them and watch it with them and be excited about it, and then show them how to rewatch it on their own. So if it's on YouTube or if it's in an app in their iPad or wherever you're going to put it for them to be able to watch it. So those are the basic steps to make this happen, to make a video model. So some tips, be engaging and motivating. For kids with Angelman, I have some very specific tips. So you want preferred people to make the video. If whoever your child's favorite people are, and I'm sure you know who they are, you want to try to get them to make some video models. You want your child to be so excited to see them on screen. You can use puppets of favorite characters to make the video model. So I mentioned the Santa Claus puppet I use for one child. I know a family that when they watch movies, they have the toys that represent the characters model during the movie. You can have some preferred music in the background or as an intro if that helps get your child to watch the video. You can film in favorite places. If your child's favorite place in the whole world is the frozen yogurt place, then go ahead and make a video there. Might feel a little weird, but it'll get your child pretty excited to see that place and watch the video. And there are some kids who get really excited to see themselves in the video. So they may not necessarily be doing the modeling in the video, but they happen to be there while you're filming, so they get to see themselves in the video. That can be very exciting for them. So now it's time to go ahead and film your video that you've planned. So the first thing I suggest is you have a way to keep the camera steady so that you have two hands free. You can use a tripod or a kind of stand if you have one. Sometimes I'll just put my phone into a coffee mug that oftentimes gets the right angle. You're going to want to delete any times that you film and make a mistake and don't want to use it so you don't use up all your memory. And you should consider having an auto backup to a site like Dropbox or anywhere that will store large files, because if your child somehow deletes all these video models, you want to be able to get them back. Some other tips are keep it short. Under a minute is usually good, but up to 3 minutes I think is okay for some kids. The length of the video should be based on your child's attention span. So 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever is the amount of time that your child is likely to attend to a video. And of course, that amount of attention will change based on how excited they are by the video and how much, how enthralling it is to them. Another thing to consider is contextual video models. So that's a video model that happens in the context it will be used or in the place it'll be used. These are more relevant and understandable to most kids. So if you're making a video about watching TV, you film it in front of the TV. So if you're going to, show them how to ask for their favorite show, you do that in front in the living room, and then you turn on the show in the video. It also creates a lot of buy-in. A lot of times I'll just film me having a conversation with the child while I'm modeling, and if I catch some good modeling on the video, I'll save that and use that as a video model. I've even had kids who have started asking for video models. I once had a young lady who, with Angelman, whose shoe came off and she was unable to walk with her AFO leg brace on the hardwood floor without a shoe. And I asked her, she wanted me to help with her shoe, but she didn't want that. She wanted me to make a video for her of how to ask to have her shoe put back on. And then she used her talker and asked for her shoe to be put back on. So for her, she knows that when she needs to learn how to say something, asking for a video to be made is a really good way to do that. So I already talked about some ways to do accessing the videos. I mentioned Mickey Play, that's this app. It allows kids to select and watch videos either stored on the iPad or from YouTube. You can make playlists if you want on YouTube or on different apps that allow you to create playlists. So what you can do is you can put 1 or 2 preferred videos, and then the video model as a commercial, and then a couple other preferred videos. There's an app called Therad app, which does this for you. It makes a preferred video and then a teaching video and then another preferred video, making your teaching videos or your video models being commercials or ads. This app is particularly good if you have a kid who will leave a YouTube playlist pretty quickly, which, as far as I can tell, is every child with Angelman I've ever met. So it's a good idea for those kids. Another thing to do is to use what you have. If you happen to have some video of effective communication, either the student talking or somebody modeling, go ahead and add those to your playlist. Lots of talking book apps allow you to add up to 10 seconds of videos into the book. So this is the Pictello app, which is my favorite talking book app. And it allows you to have 10 seconds of video per page. So you can make stories that have video clips of a model of how to say something. So you can have a story that's talking about, I'm going to go to a cookout. I'm very excited. I'm going to see my friends. When I see my friends, I can say, hello, how are you? And then you turn the page, and it's got a video clip of how to say, hello, how are you? And then you turn the page again, and it says, at the party, there'll be lots of music. I can ask them to play my favorite song. And then you turn the page, and the video clip can have a model of how to ask for your favorite song. So that's a great way to sort of combine social stories, which is a technique for teaching kids improve social skills, with video models and having them work together. So here are some resources for you to look at if you want to know more about video models. There are, within the autism PDC website, there's a whole section on video models that tells how to make them. But this is for life skills videos, not necessarily communication. And I've written an article about video models that you can find here. I hope that you found this to be really helpful. In the resources section of the course, there'll be a handout that links some YouTube videos that show me doing video modeling with various kids that I didn't include in this because I wanted to keep the length pretty short for you. So I hope you really enjoyed this course, and thank you for watching.